welcome to Millennium Sports World. Today we will present local and international sports stories including tennis, MMA, boxing, golf, baseball, basketball, soccer and some more sports news. So let's find out what's waiting in today's sports world. At first, let's have latest tennis stories. World number 2 Arina Sabalenka played a superb attacking game to beat top-ranked Iga Swiatek 6-3, 3-6, 6-3 and win the Madrid Open for the second time on Saturday. The big-hitting Belarusian gained revenge for defeat by her Polish rival in the Stuttgart final a fortnight ago with a thrilling triumph to end Swiatek's 9-match winning streak ahead of her French Open defense. Two-time Roland Garros winner Swiatek fought her way back into the match after an explosive start by Sabalenka, but the second set came back strongly in the third set to win the first WTA 1000 final featuring the top two ranked players since 2014. Sabalenka earned her 13th career title and only her second on clay in 2 hours and 25 minutes, clinching victory on her fourth championship point with a forehand cross-court winner. "I'm just super happy with this win, especially against Iga on the clay. It's always tough matches against her," said Sabalenka. The Australian Open champion started with great intensity in her serve and forehand, given some extra jib because of the altitude. Madrid is the second highest European capital city. Sabalenka earned 2 break points but sought a winner too keenly to convert and Swiatek held for 3-3. Rafael Nadal on Friday withdrew from next week's Rome tournament, casting serious doubts over his fitness for the French Open as well as potential questions over the rest of his career. The 22-time Grand Slam winner has not played since suffering a hip injury at the Australian Open in January. In all, he has competed in just 4 matches in 2023, winning only once. The French Open, which the 36-year-old has won on a record 14 occasions, starts in Paris on May 28. Nadal said his injury situation has improved in the past few days but not sufficiently to be able to compete next week in the Italian capital, where he has been champion 10 times. "You all know how much it hurts me to miss another of the tournaments that have marked my professional and personal career," wrote Nadal on Instagram. "No choice. Although I have noticed an improvement in the last few days, it has been many months without being able to train at a high level and the process of readjustment takes a certain amount of time. And I have no choice but to accept that and continue working." The 22-time major winner, he shares the men's record with Novak Djokovic, had originally thought he would be out for up to 2 months. Now, latest golf story. Lexi Thompson made back-to-back birdies on the back nine Saturday, and the United States earned the final spot in the semi-finals of the LPGA's International Crown Team Match Play event. The US clinched the semi-final berth late in the round when China lost its second match to England, but got a half point anyway when Thompson and Danielle Kang rallied to tie Sweden's Madeleine Sagström and Maja Stark. Sweden won Pool A when Anna Nordqvist and Caroline Hedwall beat Nelly Korda and Lilia Wu won up and played Pool B runner-up Australia in the semi-finals on Sunday. The US took on Thailand in the other semi-final. Thailand was the only country to win all 6 four-ball matches in pool play. "Another day to represent our country," Korda said. "That's all we could hope for, and hopefully we can get a W and make it to the afternoon round for the championship." The International Crown is a match play tournament featuring teams of 4 players from 8 countries. The teams are divided into 2 pools of 4 countries, with the top 2 from each group after 3 days of round-robin play of four-ball competition advancing to the semi-finals. Teams get 1 point for each win and a half for a tied match. Erika Herrmann Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend, who is suing the golf superstar for 30 million, alleges that Woods forced her to sign a non-disclosure agreement regarding their sexual relationship or risk losing her job at his restaurant. The non-disclosure agreement was a previously known element of the lawsuit, but a state court filing on Friday in Florida spelled out Herman's position on the key piece of evidence. According to USA Today, Herman's attorney Benjamin Hodges wrote Mr. Woods was Ms. Herman's boss. On Mr. Woods' own portrayal of events, he imposed an NDA on her as a condition to keep her job when she began having a sexual relationship with him. A boss imposing different work conditions on his employee because of their sexual relationship is sexual harassment. Hodges' document added, Tiger Woods, the internationally renowned athlete and one of the most powerful figures in global sports, decided to pursue a sexual relationship with his employee, then, according to him, forced her to sign an NDA about it or else be fired from her job, said the document filed by her attorney. And when he became disgruntled with their sexual relationship, he tricked her into leaving her home, locked her out, took her cash, pets, and personal possessions, and tried to strong-arm her into signing a different NDA. USA Today reported that it was unable to reach Woods' attorney, J.B. Murray, for comment. Murray previously stated that Herman was not a victim of sexual assault or abuse. Now, latest story of boxing. Canelo Alvarez returned home and remained the undisputed super middleweight champion Saturday night, beating John Ryder by unanimous decision before more than 50,000 fans in his first fight in Mexico since 2011. Alvarez bloodied the British challenger's nose and knocked him down, cruising to the victory by scores of 120-107 on one card and 118-109 on the other two to improve to 59-2. I hit him too much in the head and he did not go down, Canelo said at ringside after the fight. I have always said it, when they fight me, they give their 100%. It gets complicated because they usually give me the fight of their lives. Ryder said that he suffered what is probably a broken nose in the second round and that played a major role in having his 4-bout winning streak stopped and is 32-6. He is probably past his best. He could not get me out there. He wanted to stop me and could not do it, Ryder said at a press conference. It could have been a little different without the problem to my nose. It took me a few rounds to get adjusted. It was Canelo's first fight since he had surgery on his left wrist last March. Before the fight, he said the injury slowed him down in his previous 4 fights, including his loss to Russian light heavyweight champion Dmitry Bivol a year ago. Now it's time for latest MMA news. Aljamain Sterling landed enough stiffness and elbows in a split decision victory against a battered Henry Cejudo that the punishment may push the former UFC 2 division champion back into retirement. Moments after winning his 9th straight bout and surviving his latest 135-pound championship title defense in the main event of UFC 288, Sterling's fight night was only heating up. Bantamweight challenger Sean O'Malley stepped inside the cage, stripped off his jacket and stood nose-to-nose with Sterling as the two fighters launched into profanity-laced tirades against each other and eventually needed to be separated. "Get this out of my cage," Sterling shouted Saturday night at the Prudential Center. They might get their championship match later this summer. UFC President Dana White wanted Sterling O'Malley to fight in August in Boston and not late night in New Jersey. It was a bad idea, White cracked off, inviting O'Malley inside the octagon. Cejudo's comeback after a 3-year retirement also might have been a bad idea. Cejudo, the only person to win an Olympic gold medal and a UFC title, held the bantamweight crown when he abruptly retired in May 2020 after he successfully defended the championship against Dominick Cruz. Now, latest NFL story. Get the shovels out because the Buffalo Bills can finally begin breaking ground on their 60,000 plus seat, 1.54 billion new stadium after the project received unanimous approval from the Erie County Legislature on Thursday. The 10-0 vote was the final formal step in a lengthy process that was disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic and comes some 13 months after the parameters of an agreement were reached with taxpayers committed to funding 850 million of the cost. The new stadium is to be built across the street from the Bills' current home in Orchard Park, New York, and on track to be completed in time for the start of the 2026 season. Well, we have got people working out there today. Is that fast enough? Bills Executive Vice President and CEO Ron Requia told the Associated Press by phone when asked how quickly construction can begin. It's exciting. We have concluded successfully one major part of this project and now we get to go and completely turn our attention to construction and opening the new stadium for the 2026 season, Requia added. I don't know about doubts, but it took its twists and turns. But we were all committed to making this happen. The agreement includes a 30-year lease that essentially helps secure the Bills to continue playing in one of the NFL's smallest markets, something that was a concern in 2014, following the death of Hall of Fame owner Ralph Wilson, who founded the franchise in 1960. Now, latest baseball story. VW, a hard-throwing left-hander who became one of baseball's biggest draws in the early 1970s and helped lead the brash Oakland Athletics to 3 straight World Series titles, has died. He was 73. The ace said Blue died Saturday but didn't give a cause of death. I remember watching a 19-year-old phenom dominate baseball and at the same time alter my life. Dave Stewart, a 4-time 20-game winner for the A's a generation later, wrote on Twitter, "There are no words for what you have meant to me and so many others." Blue was voted the 1971 American League Cy Young Award and Most Valuable Player after going 24-8 with a 1.82 ERA and 301 strikeouts with 24 complete games, 8 of them shutouts. He was 22 at when he won MVP, the youngest to win the award. He remains among just 11 pitchers to win MVP and Cy Young in the same year. Blue finished 209, 161 with a 3.27 ERA, 2,175 strikeouts, 143 complete games, and 37 shutouts over 17 seasons with Oakland, San Francisco, and Kansas City. Now, latest basketball story. LeBron James' oldest son, Bronny, says he will play basketball at the University of Southern California in the fall. Bronny James abruptly announced his much-anticipated decision on social media Saturday, about 2 hours before his father's Los Angeles Lakers hosted the Golden State Warriors in Game 3 of their second-round playoff series. The 18-year-old James was a McDonald's All-American just like his father, but the 6'3" guard was among the few uncommitted elite high school basketball prospects heading toward the summer. The namesake son of the top scorer in NBA history played at Sierra Canyon School, which is known for educating science of the sports and entertainment industries in Chatsworth, an outer suburban neighborhood of Los Angeles. Bronny James announced his decision by writing the Trojans' school slogan, "Fight On," below a photo of himself wearing his high school uniform in the Trojans' locker room at the Galen Center. James and his Sierra Canyon team played at the arena last January, beating a team from Georgia's Wheeler High School led by elite recruit Isaiah Collier, who is now James' teammate at USC. Now let's have some soccer news. Urawa Red Diamonds claimed the Asian Champions League title for the 3rd time as Andre Carrillo's own goal earned the Japanese side a 1-0 victory over defending champions Al Hilal and a 2-1 aggregate win. Carrillo's error 3 minutes into the second half swung the tie on Saturday in Urawa's favor despite Al Hilal dominating for lengthy periods before the Japanese side added the crown to the titles they won in 2007 and 2017. Today we are very happy that after a few months working hard thinking about this game, we are winning this trophy for the fantastic supporters at this huge club, Urawa coach Message Scorza said. This is a big honor for me and it's just amazing. It's difficult to find a way to describe this win. I feel the spirit of the support and it's something special. What I can say, today was not easy for us on the pitch. Very often we were struggling, but we were playing with one more player. Urawa held the upper hand going into the second leg at Saitama Stadium after Shinjo Karaki's equalizer last Saturday had earned his team an away goal in the 1-1 draw in Riyadh. Arsenal kept the Premier League title race alive as Martin Odegaard's strike and Fabian Schär's own goal beat Newcastle 2-0 on Sunday to close to within 1 point of leaders Manchester City. City have a game in hand on top of their slender lead, but the Gunners are refusing to give up the fight in their hunt for a first league title in 19 years. Newcastle's second home defeat of the season slows the Magpies' charge towards Champions League football next season as their lead over fifth-placed Liverpool remains 3 points. Arsenal held an 8-point lead just a month ago but had won just one of their last 5 league games to let the destiny of the title slip out of their hands. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp hailed Mohamed Salah after the Egyptian striker's winner against Brentford on Saturday, set a number of milestones and kept the Reds in the hunt for Champions League football next season. Salah struck from close range in the 13th minute to score for the 9th home game in a row, making it to 30 goals this season and a century of goals at Liverpool's iconic stadium since he joined from Italian Serie A side AS Roma in 2017. I think as an offensive player, you need to have this desire to score goals, but a lot of people forget how many goals he sets up, so he is just always very often involved in the goals. Klopp told Sky Sports after Liverpool's 1-0 Premier League win. A lot of other players don't appreciate people enough when they are still playing, and for us, it's clear he is an all-time great, he added. Klopp's side are 5th in the table and still in with an outside chance of making it to the Champions League next season, and they need to keep winning just in case anyone above them slips up. It wasn't long after Real Madrid lifted the Copa del Rey that club president Florentino Perez interrupted an interview by Carlo Ancelotti to congratulate the winning coach. The president and coach embraced and chatted for a few moments on Saturday night before Ancelotti went back in front of the camera to finish the interview. "We are happy," Ancelotti said. "Like all Madrid fans, we are all happy." Ancelotti went full circle with Madrid by winning the Copa, nearly a decade after he did it for the first time in his first stint at the helm of the Spanish powerhouse. Perez later made sure he showed his full backing of the coach and expressed the club's desire to have Ancelotti continue his successful cycle with Madrid despite Brazil's push to sign him for the national team. "I don't even want to hear about this subject anymore," Perez said after Madrid's 2-1 win over Osasuna in the Copa final in Seville. "He has a contract with us and we are happy." Ancelotti's current contract with Madrid lasts until the end of next season, but speculation about his potential departure increased after Brazil said it was interested in hiring the veteran Italian coach to replace Tite. Brazil has been without a manager since the end of the World Cup, and the Brazilian Soccer Federation hinted it is willing to wait until the end of the European season to hire its next coach. Crystal Palace promised Sunday to issue a club ban to a spectator who is alleged to have racially abused Tottenham forward Son Heung-min during a Premier League match between the teams. Footage has circulated on social media of a man in the away end at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium making what appears to be a racist gesture toward Son on Saturday. The incident occurred in the 89th minute of Tottenham's 1-0 win when Son was replaced by substitute Arnaud Tanziba and had to walk around the outside of the field, past Palace's travelling support. We are aware of a video circulating online regarding an individual in the away end at Spurs yesterday, appearing to make racist gestures towards Son Heung-min. Palace said in a statement, evidence has been shared with the police and when he is identified, he will face a club ban. We will not tolerate such behavior in our club. Tottenham said it was aware of an allegation of racial abuse towards Son. Now some other sports news. After 7 days raised questions about the future of horse racing, Mage earned a surprising Kentucky Derby victory on Saturday, capping a nerve-rattling day that included 2 more fatalities ahead of the 149th edition of the world's most famous race. Mage, a 15-1 shot, had only 1 win in his career, giving little indication that he could triumph against 17 rivals in a race that is not kind to the inexperienced. Still, he made a gutsy stretch run, overtaking 2 fields to his inside and winning by a length. Mage, who didn't race as a 2-year-old, ran 1 1/4 miles in 2 minutes and 1.57 seconds. Mage joined Justify, Big Brown and Regret as Derby winners with just 3 previous starts. He proved today that it didn't matter, assistant trainer and co-owner Gustavo Delgado Jr. said. The colt was in the skilled hands of Javier Castellano, a Hall of Fame jockey who hasn't been as in demand lately. The 45-year-old Castellano snapped an 0 for 15 skid in the Derby. Russians returned to international judo competition on Sunday for the first time in nearly a year at the World Championships as Ukraine boycotted the key Olympic qualifier. Competing under the name of individual neutral athletes, the Russians had a slow start in Doha as their first competitor, Sabina Gilyazova, lost her opening contest to Frances Blanchard-Pond. 3 more Russians are due to compete Monday. 17 judokas from Russia and 2 from its ally Belarus were listed as competing at the World Championships, despite several of them having apparent ties with the Russian military. Ukraine removed its team from the event last week in protest. The International Olympic Committee favors allowing Russians and Belarusians to compete as neutral athletes without national symbols as qualifying ramps up for next year's Paris Olympics. The IOC, which last year recommended excluding Russian competitors on security grounds but now argues that would be discriminatory, has left the final decision to the governing bodies in each sport. Some sports like track and field have kept an exclusion in place on Russians and Belarusians in international events. Several more Olympic sports have said they are preparing to readmit Russians and Belarusians, but haven't yet done so, some citing a need for extra time to decide on a process or vet athletes. The International Judo Federation has moved comparatively fast. That's all in today's sports world. Keep watching Millennium Sports World for latest sports update. Millennium TV USA and Millennium News 24 network is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jadoo TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all types of informative and entertainment program. Thank you.